Hi, this is Nick Forster. We're going to share one of our favorite eTown shows from the archives, and it starts right now.
Live from eTown Hall in the foothills of the Rocky Mountains, it's part 2 of this special eTown program, featuring more from Anders Osborne, more from Chatham County Line, and some very special guests I'll let Nick tell you about. I'm Helen Forster. Right now, please join me in welcoming our host, Nick Forster.
Thanks, Ellen. Thanks to everybody. Welcome to eTown Hall. Okay, we are continuing, picking up where we left off last week, only this time we have a very special addition to our show that we literally figured out today. Know that we all get to spend time in just a little while with one of the last groups still performing in the South Georgia ring shout tradition, a part of the Gullah Geechee tradition that is uniquely American, ties us to this period in history when slavery was legal and those slaves found a way to still make a joyful noise even though they were not allowed to use drums. Anyway, more on that later, but we've got something very special coming up. Of course, the powerful Anders Osborne is going to be joining us again this week in a while. But first, it's the band from Raleigh, North Carolina that got its start when a few of them were hanging around a musician's crash pad called the Blue House that had all their gear set up so they could play music all the time. Exactly what most of us would consider perhaps a less than ideal neighbor. Anyway, they figured it out. Started a couple of bands. One day, they decided to make a bluegrass band based on the fact that two of their members, Dave and John, loved brother duet harmonies. Monroe Brothers, Everly Brothers, Delmore Brothers, Leuven Brothers, that kind of stuff. Their friend Chandler joined in on the banjo, and then Greg on the bass, and the rest is history. The band has been doing really well, playing some shows with Steve Martin, recording a record with Judy Collins, and they're with us this week. Please welcome to eTown, Chatham County Line.
It's a pleasure, honor to be here. Let's take you on a train ride.
Met on the Carolinian heading south from D.C. It's as if God himself had peeked at our seats. She smiled and said Richmond when I asked where she was bound. And to wish my life away to been born in that town. Talked a little bit and then she smiled. I saw down in her eyes. She wasn't just beautiful, kind, and she was wise. But a woman down in Raleigh soon had my son. So waited for a station light, bullet from a gun. She's in Richmond with my heart, and I'm bound for Carolina. Wish I never met this train, or the girl that sat behind. When the train reached the station, she looked me in the eye. So come with me to Richmond, we'll start a brand new life. Well, you know that moment still weighs on my mind. Took my body to Raleigh and left my heart behind. She's in Richmond with my heart, and I'm bound for Carolina. Wish I never met this train, or the girl that sat behind her. Now we're apart, while I'm bound for Carolina. She's in Richmond with my heart. Sonny's grown up to my hand and it fills me with pride. Take him down to the station, watch the trains roll by. But that northbound Carolinian always makes the teardrops start. Headed up to Virginia, where I lift my heart. She's in Richmond with my heart, and I'm bound for Carolina. Wish I never met this dream, or the girl that sat behind her. Now we're apart. I'm down to Carolina. She's in Richmond with my heart. I'm still down to Carolina. She's in Richmond with my heart.
Thank you, friends.
Really think I better get a hold of myself. Don't wanna let the night get ahead of myself. She's whispering love through the smoke ring smile. Doesn't know what happens when she's around. Think I'm in love, but it makes me kinda nervous to say so. Think I'm in love, but it makes me kinda nervous to say so. Probably lay my head on the wooden floor till I was tired from working the store, counting all the money in an old shoebox, save it up to buy her something she wants. Think I'm in love, but it makes me kinda nervous to say so. Think I'm in love, but it makes me kinda nervous to say so. What if it's wrong? What if it's wrong to wait in May? What does it mean to fake your death and wake up dreaming? Take a little picture in a photo booth, put it in a locket and I'll think of you. Both of our pictures face to face. Take off the necklace and you throw it away. Think I'm in love, but it makes me kinda nervous to say so. Think I'm in love, but it makes me kinda nervous to say so. Think I'm in love. Think I'm in love. Think I'm in
That is such a cool sound, man. I have to tell you that brother duet style harmony that's the Lewin brothers and the Delmore brothers and the Everly brothers, and you guys aren't brothers. This is Dave Wilson of Chatham County Line. Welcome. Sound great?
Great to be here.
Yeah, you and John have that's a cool blend, man. I like that.
Well, after 20 years singing together, we are artificially brothers.
Yeah. Does that make Tim O'Brien my artificial brother?
Probably so.
Yeah. No DNA, though. Right. Hey, tell me about the Blue House, this place in Raleigh. I kind of have this idea that it might have been sort of messy.
No, it was a lot of really clean guys, and it was an old Victorian house in downtown Raleigh. Now it's worth way too much money. You should have bought it then. But it was a giant house, and it had a bunch of bedrooms, and we had a dining room that had a drum set and Greg's pedal steel, and we had an old organ and bass amps, and we would just stay up till 5 a.m. playing Tom Petty songs. It was perfect.
Yeah. Did you have any neighbors?
There was a business on one side, and there were crackheads on the other side, so it was perfect.
Nobody was going to call the cops on you.
Nobody's calling the cops.
So you're playing more sort of Americana and classic country and your own original songs, and that's what you're doing. Did the idea for a bluegrass band kind of come up as a lark, or how did that start?
I was at the Carolina Theater, which is a historic venue in Durham, North Carolina, and just by chance, my friend had an extra ticket to see the Del McCoury Band.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you're familiar with their work, Nick, but they perform wearing suits all around a single microphone, and their harmonies are amazing. Their instrumentation, it's all unplugged. It's amazing. And I went home and immediately threw away all my shorts and called my friends that played banjo and mandolin and fiddle, and Greg played stand-up, and we started a band.
Yeah. It's just that easy.
It really is. 4 members, too. That's crucial.
Yeah.
Crucial in the bluegrass world.
And it's pretty uncommon these days to have a 4-piece band, actually, in bluegrass.
Oh, and to be successful in any way.
Yeah. You can feel the irony here, can't you? Just through the radio, through the radio waves. I want to talk a little bit about writing. It was great hearing that story, Gary Fine, our award winner last week, talking about the importance of people being able to write. Your mom is a well-known writer, poet, and author. Mm-hmm. And so did you grow up with that same thing about, man, you have to write every day, you have to do a journal or whatever? Was that part of your upbringing?
No, she is a writer, but she was a homemaker, and that was my experience with her. And later on, she pulled out this giant book of song lyrics that she had written when the kids were younger. There were 3 kids in the house, and she had written these songs, or basically, songwriting is poetry, set to music, and she would just sing these little rhymes to us as children. And, I wonder if that probably had the most impact on me musically than anything.
Well, just the idea that you can make something like that a song is a thing you can make. I think a lot of people don't make that connection as a kid. Mm-hmm. I have to mention, there's a crazy story about your mother's great-great-grandmother came over on a ship to New Orleans, and she married the captain of the ship on the way over.
Yes.
And then what happened?
There's a gunfight over Eliza.
A duel.
A real duel.
Yeah.
And
in which the ship's captain, whom she married, is killed.
Yep.
And then she marries the guy who shot her husband.
It's pretty much how duels work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except for the marriage part.
Except for the marriage part. Different times.
Different times.
Different
okay.
times.
But it's just good to know you've got some colorful stuff back there. So as a songwriter, you can tap into that, I know. But here we are with your latest is all other people's songs. And were these just songs and songwriters you liked or bands you liked, or was there a more sort of deliberate process to choosing these tunes? How did it work out?
Well, for years we play shows, and we'll mix in a cover song into the performance. And a lot of times people come up to the merchandise area after the show and they'll say, "Oh, where can I get a copy of y'all doing that song? That was great, a great version." So we decided, we went in the studio to work on some new original material, and we just decided with all those microphones set up, y'all have a great studio here, you just set up those microphones and let it flow. And so we just kind of tracked all those songs we'd done at live shows through the years. And we did maybe 20, 25 songs and picked the ones that seemed to work best and put them on the album.
And I mentioned it's Wilco, Beck, John Lennon, Mick and Keith, Tom Petty. There's a Leo Kottke tune in there. There's the Louvin Brothers tune. There's a James Hunter song. James Hunter's been on eTown before. He's a dynamic performer.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah. And does this choice of material put you even more sort of in limbo in terms of what kind of a band you guys are? Are you bluegrass, but contemporary, or does anybody care? It doesn't matter, really.
It doesn't matter. It just depends on who you're talking to. Yeah. If you're talking to someone that knows who Bill Monroe is and knows the intricacies of bluegrass music, we are not a bluegrass band. But if you're talking to someone that only experienced a country music is Taylor Swift or something, we are a bluegrass band.
So it's back to my earlier point about tradition being all about perspective and building on other traditions, and then you do it long enough, and then that's the tradition. So I should just mention before we go back to music, your hometown of Raleigh has certainly changed a lot in the last little while. Not that the Blue House is now unaffordable, but there's other things about Raleigh that have changed a lot.
Yes.
For those who haven't been there in a while, it's a cool town. I mean, there's great restaurants and good live music scene and a nice sort of historic district, and it wasn't always that way. So I just am putting a little plug for your place.
Well, thank you. Yeah, we're Raleigh guys, and so it is really a nice place to visit.
Yeah. So we'll visit. We'll visit. Meanwhile, Chatham County Line, ladies and gentlemen, you can just imagine what a full evening of revelry and irony would be involved if you can find your way to one of their shows. So do it if you can. Meanwhile, we're going to get back to music. Welcome them back to eTown. Please, Yep Rock recording artists, Chatham County Line.
All kidding aside, it's an honor to share the stage with the legendary Nick Forrester, a member of a band that we admired for so many years. It's hard to count. Let's get Nick out to play one with us. This is one called Wildwood, and it's in G. Okay. 1, 2, you know what to do.
Mistake me for a while. Faced you running high. Mistake me for a while. We'll go to die. Not a place to hang your head and run away yourself. You decided long time ago that I was the one. Don't mistake me for a while. Placed you running high. Don't mistake me for a while. We'll go to die. Start to feel like a broken game, tucked in a covered store. Oh, wait, don't you remember how we used to laugh? Never remembered how to play. Heart speaks out. what you did just to lose. You could not find. Don't mistake me for a wildwood place to run and hide. Don't mistake me for a wildwood. We love to go to die.
Chatham County Line, Raleigh, North Carolina. Yep Rock recording artists. The record's called Sharing the Covers. Dave Wilson, John Tier, Chandler Holt, Greg Redling, Chatham County Line.
Your visit to eTown is made possible in part by the Scientific and Cultural Facilities District, or SCFD, one of the largest cultural funding mechanisms in the United States, supporting nearly 300 organizations in the greater Denver area. And by our diverse family of NPR affiliates and community stations, plus college and commercial stations, as well as our international stations and podcast subscribers worldwide. Thank you for your continued support. In case you tuned in late and you've missed some of this week's program, the eTown podcast will have this episode and others, along with content from past shows as well. It's available for free in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iTunes, and other podcast directories. You're listening to eTown.
I'm Nick Forster. You're listening to eTown. So we've got music coming up from Anders Osborne in a little while. Right now, I'm going to tell you about our next guest. We talked a little bit about traditions at the top, about where music comes from and where musical styles come from. And the reality is it's always changing and evolving, but we've got something really, really special for you right now. In southeastern Georgia, there's a longstanding tradition that most of you have never heard about. but about 150 years ago and more, rice plantation owners brought slaves from West Africa because rice was indigenous there. And these plantations were, usually in coastal areas, in some cases on islands off the coast of Georgia. They're isolated and remote. And so these traditions that came with these slaves from West Africa, the musical traditions and dance traditions and other traditions, stayed remarkably intact well past the end of slavery and until more recent development came on these places. The descendants of these slaves who had been maintaining these traditions began to scatter, and this particular culture became something that was kind of scarce. And right now, there is only one remaining group of what's called the ring shout tradition of the Gullah people of the South Georgia and the Georgia Sea Islands. There's only one group left. And by some amazing coincidence, they performed earlier today here in Boulder, Colorado. And we heard about them. We reached out and asked them to stop by after their dinner to share a little of this truly remarkable American musical story, and they said yes. So the group is called the McIntosh County Shouters, and what you're about to hear is part of the roots of modern blues, the sounds of New Orleans, so many other musical styles. You can trace this, you can feel this being the sort of grounded part of where all this stuff started to come from. It's an incredible thing, and it's not unlike what one could have heard, perhaps, on a plantation 150 years ago. It's amazing. It's remarkable that they're here. Please welcome to the stage here at eTown Hall, the McIntosh County Shouters.
Blow, Gable. I want you to blow your trumpet. Just as loud as you can. I want you to wake my people wherever they be. Oh, blow, Gable. Oh, blow that trumpet. Want you to wake my mother, wake my father too. Oh, blow, Gable. Oh, Gable. Judgment time. Blow that trumpet. Judgment time. Blow that trumpet. Judgment. Tell love a lot of. Judgment time. Tell a lot of thunder. Judgment. Blow, Gable. Judgment time. Blow, Gable. Judgment. God save blow. Judgment time. God save blow. Judgment. Blow your trumpet. Judgment time. Blow that trumpet. Judgment. Tell love a lot of. Judgment time. Tell a lot of thunder. Judgment. Blow, Gable. Judgment time. Blow, Gable. Judgment. God save blow. Judgment time. God save blow. Judgment. Make my mother. Judgment time. Father too. Judgment. Call him in the morning. Judgment time. Call him in the noon. Judgment. Blow, Gable. Judgment time. Blow, Gable. Judgment. Make my people. Judgment time. Hey, every people. Judgment. Land or sea. Judgment time. Land or sea. Judgment. Blow that trumpet. Judgment time. Blow that trumpet. Judgment. Tell love a lot of. Judgment time. Tell a lot of thunder. Judgment. Blow, Gable. Judgment time. Blow, Gable. Judgment. God save blow. Judgment time. God save blow. Judgment. Blow your trumpet. Judgment time. Blow that trumpet. Judgment. Tell love a lot of. Judgment time. Tell a lot of thunder. Judgment. Blow, Gable. Judgment time. Blow, Gable. Judgment. Make my people. Judgment time. They everything. Judgment. Call them in the morning. Judgment time. Call them in the noon. Judgment. Land or sea. Judgment time. Land or sea. Judgment. Blow your trumpet. Judgment time. Blow that trumpet. Judgment. Tell love a lot of. Judgment time. Tell love a lot of. Judgment. Blow that trumpet. Judgment time. Blow that trumpet. Judgment. Blow, Gable. Judgment time. Blow, Gable. Judgment. God save blow. Judgment time. God save blow. Judgment. Blow your trumpet. Judgment time. Blow that trumpet. Judgment. Tell love a lot of. Judgment time. Tell a lot of thunder. Judgment. Blow that trumpet. Judgment time. Blow that trumpet. Judgment. Ah, that religion. So sweet. Oh, that religion. So sweet. Sunday morning. So sweet. Deacon praying. So preaching. So sweet. About my religion. So sweet. Oh, that religion. So sweet. Make me happy. So sweet. Can't keep it to myself. So sweet. I got to tell so sweet. Somebody else. So sweet. About my religion. So sweet. Oh, my religion. So sweet. Make me happy. So sweet. Ah, yeah. So sweet. I rock that religion. So sweet. I rock that religion. So sweet. I rock that religion. So sweet. Oh, that religion. So sweet. Ah, that religion. So sweet. Make me happy. So sweet. Can't keep it to myself. So sweet. I got to tell so sweet. Somebody else. So sweet. Ah, that religion. So sweet. Oh, my religion. So sweet. I walk that religion. So sweet. I talk that religion. So sweet. I sing that religion. So sweet. I shout that religion. So sweet. Oh, that religion. So sweet. Oh, my religion. So sweet. Ah, yeah. So sweet. I rock that religion. So sweet. I rock that religion. So sweet. I rock that religion. So sweet. Oh, that religion. So sweet. Sunday morning. So sweet. Deacon praying. So sweet. Preacher preaching. So sweet. Ah, that religion. So sweet. Ah, that religion. So sweet. Oh, that religion. So sweet. Make me happy. So sweet. Can't keep it to myself. So sweet. I got to tell so sweet. Somebody else. So sweet. Ah, my religion. So sweet. Oh, my religion. So sweet. Ah, that religion. So sweet. Ah, that religion. So sweet. I walk that religion. So sweet. I talk that religion. So sweet. I sing that religion. So sweet. I shout that religion. So sweet. Oh, that religion. So sweet. Ah, my religion. So sweet. Ah, that religion. So sweet. So sweet.
That's the McIntosh County Shouters, ladies and gentlemen. Live here at eTown. Amazing. That's Carletha Sullivan, Freddie Palmer, Elsie Scott, Carol Palmer, Carla Jordan, Carolyn Palmer, Brenton Jordan, Kentressa Riles, Dennis Wiley, and narrator Vanessa Carter. The McIntosh County Shouters. I want to special thanks to Annette James and the NAACP of Boulder County, the Boulder Arts Commission, and the Boulder Human Relations Commission for their help in bringing them to Boulder. And then what a great coincidence that they could stop and participate just a little bit here today. Thank you so much.
This portion of eTown is made possible by the Bohemian Foundation, building stronger communities through the bohemian qualities of creativity and imagination. On the web at bohemianfoundation.org. As a reminder, for your viewing pleasure, there are over 2,000 videos on the eTown YouTube channel, where you can also subscribe in order to stay up to date with our latest offerings. Hey, if you're curious about eTown's home base, eTown Hall, our beautiful solar-powered music venue, community center, and recording studio in downtown Boulder, Colorado, you can learn more about it on our website, eTown.org. You're listening to eTown.
I'm Nick Forster. I'd like to say hello to our listeners who are hearing eTown right now on stations like KODK in Kodiak, Alaska, on KBUU in Malibu, California, and on WAPS in Akron, Ohio. As always, you can find out all kinds of stuff about eTown and especially learn more about how to see some of our many, many videos that are available so easily. So check it all out eTown.org. Okay, so like I said, one of their mottos, actually, one of the McIntosh County Shouters mottos is, if you don't know where you came from, you can't know where you're going. And so that's what this whole thing about musical traditions is all about. You can tell that Chatham County Line and Anders Osborne and most of the people who've ever been on eTown, they've studied their homework, they've learned from the masters, they've really dug in and figured out the roots of the music that speaks to them. And then they've, of course, made it their own. Certainly that's true of our next guests. Would you please help me welcome back to the stage Anders Osborne.
Well, what do I do after that? That was amazing. All right. This next song, it's not political, so just don't go there, okay? I mean it. Everybody stay calm. I played it live in New Orleans a few weeks ago, and then somebody posted something, and they said, "Here's my least favorite Anders Osborne song." I'm like, thanks, man. But he went through the trouble of posting it while filming himself, so I'm like, he kind of like it somewhere in there. Anyway, this is a story about how things are sometimes. It's off Buddha and the Blues.
Just for me and you. But somewhere in translation, I found myself asleep. I woke up to Martha Stewart making something good to eat. Smoke and mirrors, you can do anything you want. Smoke and mirrors, it doesn't matter if it's real or not. As long as there's a heaven, oh, somewhere in the end. Somewhere in translation, I will lose myself
Thank you very much. We break it down one? Yeah. Give it up for Nick, Helen, and the eTones as well. Doing a hell of a job all the time. Yes, indeed. So here's the title track of Buddha and the Blues. And it's kind of a little ditty. It was... Sometimes when you write, you know, or I should say, when I write, they come real fast, and the melody's right there. And this one, it all kind of came together very fast, but not the lyrics. Took me a minute to get that straight, so... It's a short, little, beautiful song, and I hope you enjoy it.
I'm reaching for a sky that's reaching for me. I'm beating down this wall that challenges me. I'm going down this path that carries me high above, above. I'm standing in a church no one believes. I'm kneeling by a stone nobody else sees. I'm listening to a bird that sings like love, like love, like love. It may not get easier than this, but nothing gets sweeter than a kiss. We know that life flows in any which way we choose. Yeah, Buddha or the blues. I'm waiting for these blue to turn into bliss. I'm making for a truth that doesn't exist. I'm running down a dream that feels no fear, no fear, no fear. We're all working on our faith for moments of doubts. We're planning to be great some 100 years out. We're living for a day that will never be here, here, here. It may not get easier than this, but nothing gets sweeter than a kiss. We know that life flows in any which way we choose. Yeah, Buddha or the blues.
Right on. Good job, Nick. He learned that today. Oh, yeah. I'm switching to electric guitar. So Mac passed away. Also, Dave Bartholomew passed away. And Dave was part of setting up the whole Dr. John idea. So he was a big part in that. So we're going to play an Earl King song. Earl was one of Dr. John's favorite writers and artists in New Orleans. And Dr. John did a great version of this song. So.
The world we know was built on skills, but that alone don't count. Without the
the sweat and toil of mine, it wouldn't be worth a dime. You got to live and give, share and care, really put some love in the air. Oh, when your neighbor's down, gotta pick them up. Nobody can live in despair. Everybody let's sing, sing, sing. Everybody let's sing, sing, sing. Let's all pitch in and do our thing and make a better world we live in. Everybody let's sing, sing, sing. Everybody let's sing, sing, sing. Oh, let's do our thing, all pitch in and make a better world we live in. Yes, society has no priority. We're all one part of the whole. When people scream and shout, gotta hear them out. Everybody's got a beautiful soul. You got to pull together, go hand in hand. You really got to do your best. Wouldn't it be a perfect sight to see the whole full world filled with happiness? Now everybody let's sing, sing, sing. Everybody let's sing, sing, sing. Let's all pitch in and do our thing and make a better world we live in. Everybody let's sing, sing, sing. Everybody let's sing, sing, sing. Oh, let's all pitch in and do our thing and make a better world we live in. Come on, baby.
Osborne.
Thank you very much.
The record's called Buddha and the Blues from New Orleans, Louisiana, along with eTones, Christian and Ron, Keith Mosley on the bass, Helen Forster. We've got time for one more song. We're going to get everybody out on stage for this Last song that is going to connect the dots between all kinds of traditions. And I want to thank all our guests. I especially want to thank from Raleigh, North Carolina, Chatham County Line. Thanks for coming out here and playing their particular version of bluegrass music. Thanks to our award winner, Gary Fine. Again, just such an inspiring story, helping prisoners learn and communicate and connect with each other, find some hope. Thanks to Anders Osborne. Thanks to the hard-working house band, the eTones, and Helen Forster. This should be fun. Once again, we're going to bring Mick and Keith to the Georgia Sea Islands if we're lucky. I'm Nick Forster. Hope you can be with us next week right here in eTown.
Thanks for joining us for this special two-part program recorded at eTown Hall by our donor-supported nonprofit organization. If you'd like to contact us or comment about eTown, you can send an email to info@etown.org, connect on Facebook or Twitter, or visit our website.
This may be my last. This may be my last. This may be my last. It may be the last time, I don't know. Well, it may be the last time we sing together. It may be the last time, I don't know. Well, it may be the last time we sing it all. It may be the last time, I don't know. Oh, this may be our last. Oh, this may be our last. Oh, this may be our last.
As always, distribution of eTown is made possible by our family of sponsors, this station, and listeners like you.
The McIntosh County Shouters, Chatham County line, Anders Osborne.
This is a production of eTown.